Et puis, on a eu la chance aujourd'hui. C'est rare qu'il donne des entrevues. On va aller rejoindre Andrei Markov, qui a été un coéquipier extraordinaire. Marky, what's going on, my friend?
Nothing much, just try and enjoy my life,
Just
Busy
enjoy.
with the kids. Yeah, busy with the kids.
Yeah, so that's retirement for you so far. We wanted to do an interview today, obviously, with the nice moments coming in next week. The Canadians are doing a special night, the marquee night, and I think it's well deserved, obviously, with the great career you had. So, how does it feel right now to come back in town? And when's the last time you came back, actually?
I've been there last year, actually twice, so had some issue. I did change my passport. Then my two boys, they born in Montreal, right? And and some of our dog eat his birth certificate,
Yeah.
So I went down to change the birth certificate for them,
Yeah, the after career work.
Yeah, Marky, do you miss what do you miss the most about Montreal? Obviously, you left in the early 2020s, and then you went back to Russia. But coming back, is there something that you're really looking forward to spend some time in the city?
You know what? I'm actually still surprised. Every time I come to the town, and the people still recognize you, and they stop you and try to talk to you or ask you for the picture or autograph. So it's a great feeling, So
when you got drafted, 6th round, were you expecting that type of career? Because we never know. You've come from so far away. You're drafted by the Montreal Canadian team that you probably didn't know much about. You come here, you have a unbelievable career, and like you said, people recognize you, people loved you here. But I feel like you're a shy guy a little bit, so we never really had the chance to spend much time with you. But how much did it change your life, and were you actually surprised to get this big of a career?
Yeah, probably. When I was drafted, so I didn't know what to expect, right? So when I remember when first time I came to Montreal, I was what's going on here? It's everything is different, and language, the lifestyle, the hockey. So then with the couple of years, probably I started to feel more comfortable, started enjoying that more and more, and started like it, So I remember the first couple of years or 3 years after the season, I packed my stuff and went back to Russia right away, right after the season. But then after 3 years, I started enjoying the life out of hockey, So spend more time in Montreal, spend more time in Florida, and especially in the summer,
What's the toughest thing for we see it right now with a young kid like Demidov? Guys are coming from Russia, different language, different culture. What was the toughest part for you? Was it the food? Was it the mentality, the language? It's a lot for young guys.
The time has changed, right? So
a little bit.
Yeah. I remember when I came to Montreal, we had a few 4 or 5 Russian guys who helped me a lot. With everything. Outside of hockey and and the practices everywhere. So I didn't felt that I was alone, so we had so that was good part. That was good for me, so that we had a few Russian speaker guys in the team, so that was a big help for me.
Yeah. You have to explain us something, because we digged a bit the stats, and Max was talking about your draft year in 1998. You went in the 6th round, and there's another Russian guy that went in the 6th round, just a few picks after you, Pavel Datsyuk. So you end up playing 990 games in the NHL, one of the best defensemen of your generation, and Datsuk does his own thing in Detroit too. Where were you guys hiding in 1998 in your draft year? You guys should have been drafted in the top 5 or top 10. What happened that year?
I don't know. Like, so, I mean, like, I remember those years I didn't even didn't take a serious, like that draft, like, so I didn't know about the drafting anything. So then I was drafted 6th round, and I was like, okay, 6th round, it's okay, like, so. I don't know, like, I remember Pavel playing in Russia. So we even played together 1 year in Russia, but when we had that the year of a lockout, so we played for Dynamo together. He's a great guy. He's a very great hockey player, and at the same time, he's a great person, like, so he's like shy like me,
Yeah. Good scout. That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
I wanna know, when you arrived, like, you had great coaches, great teammates. Which coach do you think changed your career in Montreal? Starting with Michel Therrien with the Citadelle in Quebec. I think it started there, and then you had pretty much everyone for a long time. I think 16 years in Montreal. Who had the biggest impact on your career, you think?
Oh. I remember the first couple years we had Michel. He was tough on me, like, so he sent me down a few times, like, and I was like, I asked myself if he doesn't like me, or he doesn't like Russians, like, so. But after those couple years, he's like become, I don't know, like, much better to me. And then, like, at the end of my career in Montreal, I catch myself. I changed the coaches, like, so the few coaches came back like twice,
Yeah, you're right.
that was funny, So which coach changed most? I don't know, like, so I didn't think about that, like, I was thinking to do my job to help the team to win, like, and I didn't. So I tried to do everything was the coach ask you, like, and I remember, like, so we had the Carbo, we had the good offensive team that time,
Yeah.
Like, so the style will. Every time you change the coach, the style of the game will change, right? So you try to.
Is there a time, like you're talking about, like you being shy, different type of styles and coaching? Is there a time you wish, like, you were more comfortable saying what you think for real?
I don't know, like, so. I always try to concentrate on the game, like, I always try to concentrate what I do on the ice,
Yeah.
Off the ice. So we had enough. We always had enough guys who can talk in the room, like, so.
Yeah, we have loud people those years.
Yeah. So it's like, so I always think maybe it's better to show yourself on the ice, like, so.
Lead by example.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So with all this, like you were saying, like you played 990 games with Montreal, and was it? I mean, when you start seeing those numbers, is that something that stayed in your head that, hey, I could have played 1,000 game? I mean, if I put myself in your skates, or I say, so it's like that would bother me. I mean, it gets so close. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's a mental thing. It's a personality thing. But for you, is that something that once in a while you think maybe I should have sticked around, or like we don't know about what happened at the end? Like, is that something that bothers you, that you don't have 1,000 game beside your name? Because you could have played them. Obviously, you were still good.
I mean, the first play, probably first few years, it was bothering me, but now it's gone. Like, so I can't change what happened that time. Like, so it's. I mean, I'm not regret about anything. Like I'm lucky enough to spend the whole my career in one team, and I don't know what else I can say.
Fair enough.
Is there a point around that time where you could have played somewhere else and you just, like you said, decided that you wanted to play for one team only?
No, I remember that moment. Like, so we had conversation with Montreal. So it was like. And I remember, like, so I want 2 years contract, right? And I said to myself, I want 2 years contract, and I'm gonna retire like a hockey player,
Yeah.
And they offer me only 1 year contract. So, and there was like then there was the time I can wait and. To see if any another team can offer me a 2 years contract.
Yeah.
And the time passed by, and the Russian team, Kazan, offered me a 2 years contract. So we decided with the family go back to Russia, especially with the kids, and that's it.
What does it look like right now, your life back in Russia? Like, are the kids playing hockey? Are you still skating a little bit in a beer league? Or what's Marky doing those days?
No, it's more like I try to spend more time with the kids, like, so my little boy playing hockey. The twins quit with the hockey, like, so they're 14.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she's a gymnastic, So it's funny. The kids, my boy, he's gonna be 7 soon, but they practice like 5-6 times a week. Wow. On the ice. Yeah, on the ice, like. They had like every day, like the same day, the same time. Every day they practice on the ice for 1 hour. Yeah. Then off ice 1 hour. Then on the weekends they had the tournaments.
Yeah,
that was like crazy.
So, well, welcome to our life, Marky. We all do that here. But is that something you're talking about? Your son playing hockey? Was that something like now they have a busy schedule already at a young age, and we all know that. Hockey is such a huge sport in Russia, as big as in Canada. How was it for you growing up in Russia, as like playing minor hockey, late 80s, early 90s? You're a bit older than us, but we know how it works here. But in Russia, it was always kind of a mystery, all like the good Russian players, what they were doing in minor hockey there. How was it for you? Was it as busy as it is for your son right now, or it was a bit different?
Oh, that was big difference. The times changed, and those years we didn't have that many teams, like young teams. Yep. But now they had not just many teams. They had like 3 levels of the different levels. So you need to be like the first level. It's a top teams, right?
Yeah.
So then the second level and the third level, and I don't know, it's too many teams.
Too many teams now. Yeah, they spread out the talent.
And, yeah, you know what? Yeah, and especially I remember when I grew up, my parents didn't involve like in my career, right? So, but right now I see so many parents they involved in the kids' career, so they try to find better team for them, or they try to find like better coaches. You had those chats, groups on your cell phone.
Yeah.
And sometimes you read that and you get crazy. I was like, what's going on? So you see like the parents, they know better than the coaches, so.
But
It's kind of great to me,
So it's crazy in Russia, just like it's crazy
So it's
here.
the same thing everywhere.
Same thing.
Hey, Marky, I'm going to show you a picture. You had some great moment in Montreal, and obviously you've played with so many good teammates and D partners. I want to hear you about that moment. You're kissing PK. That's going to join us. Who's going to join us in a few seconds. But what a day that was, and talk to us a little bit about that great moment in Montreal.
I think that was a playoff, right?
Yeah.
And the game, I think the game against Otto, right?
Exactly.
And my buddy.
There he is.
Did the slap shot and scored the goal. I remember that. And I think we come back. We're down, right?
Marky, I already told Lappy before I came on, it's my favorite moment was the kiss. I don't know if there's any player in Marky's career that he ever kissed at any moment in time, but it happened on national television during the playoffs. Everybody saw it. So I'm going with the kiss. Lappy, I know you like the kiss too. Come on.
Yeah, for sure. But I wasn't on the power play, so nobody ever kissed me on the ice. PK, I'm so happy. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, Marky is there. We need PK part of the group. I want to hear a little bit about the chemistry, because you guys are so different. You got the most quiet, most organized person, and you got PK that came in as a young guy with the music, with the noise, and the new style, the new generation. Talk to us about the relationship and what you've learned from Marky.
Oh my God. I learned so much. It's so humbling. First of all, Lappy, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak on Marky, because I've been really waiting for this opportunity for a long time. From the moment, really that I stepped into Montreal, I've always looked up to Marky. I think he knows that. I'm sure when I first got there, I annoyed the shit out of him because, Marky was somebody I just wanted to be like. I wanted to take as much from him as I possibly could. Because when you look up to players who have done it, especially a guy who's done it in your position that you grew up watching, like my dad, he didn't watch games in English. He watched all the games, the Montreal Canadiens games in French. So like Markov, my dad would always, Marky, you got to watch Marky. So people don't even know this, why I wear 76. I couldn't pick number 6 when I got to Montreal because it was Yanni Nienema first, and then Spacho wore number 6. So I couldn't touch number 6, which is my original number. And my dad goes, PK, why don't you wear number 76? I said, why? He goes, well, if you flip the 6 upside down, it's 79 like Markov. And I said, well, you know what? I get my 6 original number in there. I was drafted in 2007. And Andrei Markov by far was my favorite defenseman to watch growing up because, it's funny because Marky and I are also different players. Like, Marky plays the game at a level, with cerebral, identifying situations and diffusing them defensively. And then on the offensive side, I've never seen anyone pass like Marky. So, I was able to watch him play defense in a way where he used his patience. He was 2 steps ahead of everybody. Me, I had all the energy in the world, enthusiasm. But if I could adapt some of Marky's patience and understanding of how to read the game a little bit differently, that's why my game got better as I got throughout my career. I got to watch Marky play. And I used to tell coaches sometimes, I'd come back, I'm not going to name names, but I would tell some of the coaches, I'd be like, dude, they'd be like, PK, you got to, I said, no, I'm playing like Markov. They're like, no, we don't want you playing like that. You got to play dynamic and skate. And I used to tell but me and my dad used to talk about that a lot. We used to talk about Marky and how he used to play and what I used to have to adapt from his game to mine. So I don't know how to talk about Marky without starting there. When I came into Montreal, I was already a fan. I already looked up to Marky. So there was nothing Marky could say to me or do to me that was going to upset me. I knew how good Marky was, and I wanted that opportunity to play with him. So, but Marky also, on the personal side, he didn't speak to a lot of people. That wasn't his style. You know, he led by example. But he was verbal on occasions, and there was many occasions, and I don't want to speak for Marky, but Marky also took the time to teach me. You know, it's very easy. I was an easy guy to crack the whip on. Very easy to yell at, very easy to pick on. But Marky took the time when it was the right time to coach me and teach me the right way. And I remember, Marky, when you came back and he was healthy and he had the knee injuries, like people don't know. Guys, without Marky, I don't get a shot in the league. Marky got hurt. That's why I got called up in the playoffs. Right? I got my opportunity when Marky got hurt, not because, so for me, it was that opportunity that when he came back, we were going to have a better defense, and hopefully I was going to be a part of that. But I was a part of that in a much bigger way than I could have ever imagined. And a lot of that had to do with what Marky told me when he came back. And like, who does that? He comes to me, he goes, PK, we're the last D pairing right now. When we're by the end of this week and the next week, we're going to be the first D pairing. And we didn't switch. We became the first D pairing. We were there for the rest of the time I was in Montreal. You know, what I learned from Marky was that you can be a great, talented player and have all the skill in the world, but if you can't play within a system and know how to make players around you better, you can't have success. And Marky told me those stories of him playing in the Dynamo League and what it was like and the coaches that he played for. I'm sure Marky doesn't know that I remember these stories, but I remember all of them. You know, very good memory. Well, because you had to be, you know, and this is my message for a lot of these young guys coming in. You know, it's a young league now, but there's still a few veteran players left in the game that have been doing this a long time. And, you know, when I think of guys like Crosby and Marky, not to toot your horn, but I put Marky in that category because of the impact he had on me, the impact that I seen him have on the game. So to be in this position now, to talk about Marky's impact, it's critical. It was critical to my individual success, but also to our team success. Lappy, you know this. Before I got there, Marky, nobody's going to talk about it, but we had Lindstrom and some of these guys winning Norris trophies. Marky should have a few of those too.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, Marky should have a few of those. So, you know, Marky's been that great throughout his career, but he was that great for me. There's no way I would have accomplished the things I did on the ice without him. I needed him there, and I played with a lot of great players. You know, I had Jock Georgie for a bit. I had Hal Gill. I had a few other guys. But Marky, you know, everybody's second to Marky. Marky's the best player I've ever played with. It's that simple.
Marky, when a young guy like this comes and joins the team, is it tough to adapt? Like, because you've seen a lot of generation in this hockey team. You played with veterans, or you played with young guys. When PK came in with his style, was it an easier type of hockey to adjust for you, or was it a fun challenge, like he's saying right now, to teach him little tricks and help him in his career?
I mean, when he came to our team, so it was like different type of player, right? So, but he, like, I always told him, like, you don't have to change your game, you just have to improve your game, right? So, and the way he's playing, he needs to continue the play the same way, you know, just to get better and better, you know. And I think we help each other with like PK said, with completely different personality, but we help each other on the ice, off the ice, and that's give us a little bit success, right?
That's a smart way to say it, Marky. You don't have to change your game. You just have to improve your game. That's pretty smart.
That's pretty smart. But PK, I'm glad that you talked about the passing abilities of Marky, because as a goalie facing you guys, especially on the power play, it was so hard to read because, Marky, you were so patient, and you always had PK on the other side ready for the one-timing, like looking for the open space. As obviously at 5-on-5, you guys were like dangerous, but really on the power play, that was a difficult job for the goalie, because it was always back then. It was more, it's kind of funny to say, because we'd come to play in Montreal. I didn't play a whole lot starting Columbus and a bit more with Ottawa, but it's just usually you take care of the offensive guys. You worry about maybe the defenseman with the big shot. but it was the other way around with you guys, because you guys, like, that was okay. We have to figure out what Markov and Subban are going to do, and then maybe we'll worry about the low play, because that was the most dangerous thing.
This is how good they are.
So that was exactly, that's how you guys were dominate. But did that take a long time to create that chemistry? Because obviously Max talked about, like, you guys are different personalities, but on a day-to-day basis, what made it work for you guys?
Practice, man. Listen, Marky, I can speak to that because, you know, when I got there, Marky had already played. He had already made a lot of guys a lot of money as defense partners and helped a lot of guys out. So, like, I was already aware. I'm going to say this quickly. I never wanted to disappoint Marky. I never wanted to disappoint him with my play. I never wanted to disappoint him as a teammate. I just didn't want to. So for me, when I stepped on the ice with them, every night it was an opportunity to get better and show that I could do what he needed me to do. And he's relying on me too. So when you have a guy that you've looked up to your whole life, you know, who you don't want to let down, and now he's relying on you, like, that's only going to bring the best out of you. And for me, Marky and I organically grew to that moment. It took me to grow as well. Like, if you don't grow up, he can't help you. So, you know, at that time when Marky came back, we were ready to be a competitive team. I was 23, 24 years old. I was ready to take that step in my career and become a guy that could play in all situations and do all those things. But I'm going to tell you, his passing, his ability to see the ice, his ability to make the game easy.
Yeah, you're right.
Easy.
Simplifying
made
everything.
the game easy. And it is not easy to make the game easy. It's not. It takes skill. It takes patience. It's awareness. It's all those things. So, you know, for me, it was practice. After every practice, Marky and I, we made passes. People talk like, I remember when I went there, I just didn't want to be the one-timer guy. You know, I just didn't want to be the guy that could always one-time. And I know Marky, like, Marky going to look at you. If you can't make a pass, like, you got to be able to make a pass. You can't just be able to shoot. We're not going to win anything if you're just relying on your one-timer. So every day after practice, whether Marky was there or not, I worked on backhand passes. I worked on my forehand passes. I worked on saucer passes because Marky could make all these plays. So for me, I'm saying I got to make these plays too. I can't have him. He's making one-touch passes for one-timers, backhand passes through the seam. I'm saying this guy's ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
he was.
all the stuff, no, 100%. All the stuff that you've seen in my game. I had my game when I got to Montreal, but make no doubt about it, the efficiency and the fundamentals of the passing and all those things, I worked on those things every day because I watched Marky do it and watched him do it after practice. So, you know, for me, I play with a lot of great players, but I never had an Andrei Markov after I left Montreal. And, you know, so I appreciated the work that he put in every day. And Lappy, you know, Marky, he worked. Yeah. He worked. You know, he's not complaining. He worked. So, you know, you had to work too.
I want to hear Marky about it because I hear how pumped you are that you work with Marky and how much he helped you in your career. Would you be interested, Marky, to be coaching? Let's say the Canadians would call you and say you're the power play coach or the like you're helping in the organization. Would you take the call and come back in Montreal?
You know, like I've been coaching in Russia like half a year probably, but realize it's a completely different level. So it's easy to be a player than a coach.
Yeah,
you know, Yes, it's interesting. It's what you wanna try to do, but right now I put my family in the first place. You know, like So if somebody gonna offer me like a job or something like that, first I'm gonna think about my family, how they gonna feel about that. You know, like so. Then I'm going to make a decision.
I hope so. I hope he does because it's too much knowledge. And, you know, if I can learn from Marky, if he can teach me, he can teach anybody in the league. So we already skipped that test. If he can get me to learn, he can get anybody to learn. That's a fact.
Last subject. We got a minute left. I want to hear both of you. What's your favorite moment you lived in Montreal? Doesn't need to be together, but like you guys went through a lot.
Oh, Marky, I want to hear Marky. Marky, what do you...
And maybe a funny one too. It's got to be a good, funny story.
I'm watching you right now. I think it's going to be a good one.
Hey, those guys spend a lot of time together. It's got to be some good stories.
There's something coming up.
One.
The best moment probably when we play together on the ice. But to me, the best moment when PK came to my wedding, in Moscow. So that was like a big surprise for me, and it's.
Did you just show up in Moscow for the wedding, PK?
I gotta be. I when Marky invited me, the world could have been ending. I wasn't gonna miss that wedding. Like I flew. And I remember I flew with my best friend. We flew Sully. We flew to Poland from New York, or London to Poland. And then we flew from Poland to Moscow. We drove 3.5 hours from Moscow to the beach. It is still to this day the nicest wedding I've ever been to. Marky, I don't want to hear it. Listen, guys, let me tell you something. This wedding was beautiful. Beautiful, unbelievable. And if you could imagine, I made it up on the mic. So you can imagine that. I was talking on the mic at one point that night. It was a beautiful wedding to be there with Marky and his family. And see to see all the other Russian players as well. Nesterov, they took me for a night on the town. Marky wasn't there; he's with his wife. But I went for a night on the town. Moscow's a beautiful place. It's too bad I only stayed there for 18 hours. I should have been there longer. But what a wedding!
But you know what? Maybe that was good for you that you only stayed 18 hours, PK.
Well, guys, I didn't sleep. No. I didn't sleep. I did not sleep that night. I had to do it right. And I did it right. I almost missed my flight. I slept the whole flight from Moscow back to New York. I think it's like 11 hours. I woke up on the flight like this. Everybody's off the plane to the flight attendant saying, "Are you getting off the flight?" Like I didn't miss all the meals. I slept the whole time. That's how great my time was in Moscow. But it wasn't about the night out. The event itself, the wedding itself, it's just so cool to have played with somebody. Like I said, this is someone I looked up to, who I idolized, who pushed me to be a better player, pushed me to be a better teammate, and got the most out of me, who's now taken a personal interest to have me in the greatest day and the most important day of his life. And to this day, Marky, I talk about the kiss because that's how much I love Marky. When Marky lays a kiss on you, it's unforgettable. You know what I mean? But I would have to share that same sentiment with him. Going to his wedding was a really cool personal moment for me and Marky, and he knows how much I care about him.
Yeah, but that was. Marky wants to know when you're going to invite him to your wedding. Yeah. That's
hey, listen to me. Well, that's a great question. You know what? You never say never to getting married. I'm not there right now, but I definitely want to have a family and kids someday. But I'll tell you this, Marky will 100% be getting an invite. And Lappy, you keep going this way with this podcast, the show you got going, you'll be getting an invite too. Let's go.
Live podcast at PK's wedding. I like it. That's a good show. Hey, guys, PK, first of all, thank you so much for joining. Marky, it's a special night next week. I'm happy for you. You did a lot for the organization.
I'll be there, Marky. Hold on, Lappy. I'm just letting Marky know on the air. I'll be there. I'm coming in whether he wants me there or not.
Perfect.
I'm there. I'm going to be in Montreal this weekend. Yeah. So I missed you in Florida, Marky. I didn't get to Florida this week. Hopefully I'll catch you after.
But very generous of your part, Marky. We appreciate it. And we know you don't always like to do these things, but I think you deserve it. Montreal is going to give you a big ovation, and I think it's going to be a special night. So thanks for everything while we were playing, and thanks for the great interview. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Love you, Marky. Thanks, Lappy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Have a good one. C'est incroyable, les gars. J'adore le clash d'énergie. Puis Piqué, c'est caféine dans le tapis, puis l'autre, il est relax avec sa tasse de thé.
Mais tu sais, des fois, c'est ça que ça prend. Hein? Des fois, c'est les opposés s'attirent, puis regarde, ça a fonctionné.
Moi, je suis surpris. Honnêtement, je suis surpris que Marky s'est offert pour dire ouais, moi je vais venir au podcast, puis c'est un gars gêné, tu le vois, puis c'est pas son premier langage, puis je trouve ça cool, c'est le fun quand les coéquipiers une couple d'années, on est rendu des 20 ans, 20 années plus tard.
C'est le fun aussi, je pense, d'entendre Piqué sur Markov, Piqué sais, que de donner un peu une visibilité des anciens coéquipiers, de parler de bien, parce que tu te connais mieux que moi, ça a été ton coéquipier, mais ces gars-là veulent jamais parler d'eux autres, ils veulent jamais recevoir des fleurs. Je trouve que c'est le fun des fois qu'on leur en donne quand même. Parce que ça a été des grands joueurs, ils ont été des joueurs d'impact. Qu'est-ce que le Canadien va faire pour Markov dans les prochains jours? Je pense que c'est important.
Ouais.
Et je trouve ça cool. Je trouve ça cool comme fan de la game. Je pense que c'est important de continuer à faire ce genre de soirée-là. Puis qu'on ait la chance de voir, comme tu vois, Piqué va venir à Montréal, va venir l'encourager.
Ah oui.
C'est le fun pour les joueurs d'encourager ses anciens coéquipiers.
Très, très plaisant.